What's good, you guys? Happy Friday. Just finishing up with my last meal for the day. Had some saffron rice, had some chipotle chicken with the sauce and broccoli. About to knock it back with a little banana, potassium, fruit. Man, this week was long as hell. Today was wet and long and exhausting. I'm mentally and physically exhausted because I just came back from an event that was happening in my community. I was a part of one of the partners that threw this event, and it was a good turnout despite the weather. But there was a lot of moving parts, and like I said, it took a lot out of me today. But here I am, which leads me into today's topic, where I want to talk about momentum. Momentum. When I think about momentum, usually you hear the analogy of a rocket ship or a jet, how the combustion, the fuel behind the jet, you need so much input. You need so much output in order to initially get off the ground and reach a velocity where you can be above the clouds. But also, think of a different analogy, a different metaphor. Think of a river cutting through solid rock. You see, the river is just water. It's just flowing water hitting up against the rock. And the water by itself, it's not powerful enough to just cut through solid rock. It doesn't work like that. Even with a pressure washer, you can't do that. But it's the fact that the river is ever flowing. It's consistent. It's persistent. Over 10, 100, a millennia, the rock proceeds to be eroded by the water because of the constant friction, the constant persistent action that the water is taking upon the rock. Momentum is what's needed. It's a key factor. You can have discipline. You can have a good heart. You could have a good mindset. But how valuable are those things not properly applied in the right areas? And how consistent is that effort? It's not a one-off thing. It's not something you could just choose to turn on and off, choosing to act a certain way throughout the weekdays. But as soon as you get to the weekend, you start partying, you start going out with your friends, you start taking trips across the world or across the country. You start drinking whatever it is you're drinking, alcohol, smoking weed, playing video games, watching football, these entertainers, people you aspire to be like, but aren't putting in the proper action in order to reach those levels of success that you want to reach. And not everybody's meant to be put on a pedestal either. A lot of these guys, yeah, they may excel in one area, but how are their family relationships? Guys, stop believing everything you see. Everything on social media, sorry to say, is not real. Everything you see on CNN, BBC, all these mainstream media news sources, all that shit is compiled bullshit, negativity. It's meant to throw you off your course. It's meant to take the momentum right out under you. And your circle, you guys, your circle is everything. I'm sure you've heard it, but you will show me your friends and I'll show you your destiny. Show me your 5 closest friends, and that will reveal to me your future. You see, you can be a hustler. You could be an ambitious individual. You can be someone who constantly chooses the harder route in order to break his or her limits. But if these 5 individuals that you're constantly in contact with, which is your environment, if they're not aspiring to reach a new level of consciousness within themselves, if they're not aspiring to develop their body in the gym, if they're not aspiring to increase their income this year as opposed to last year, then those people, I'm sorry to say, are not winners. They don't want it bad enough. Which brings us back to you. How bad do you want it? That's a question every man and woman should ask themselves. Or irregardless of what career path, what chosen life path that you want to take. It comes down to you and your consistent daily actions. Period. Point blank. It's going to come down to you when it's all said and done. And there's going to come a day where you're out of chances. You're out of opportunities. And you're out of time. That day is coming. So with that knowledge, what will you do with this present moment in order to make sure that the ideal future that you want comes into reality or comes to fruition? Let's go, guys. Let's stay consistent. Let's stay disciplined. And above all, let's add more fuel to the fire. This momentum, it's a snowball. It's a snowball effect. Once you get started, it's tough at first. A snowball it's hard for it to, get its rhythm and its motion on point. But day after day, continuously, the snow is being built on top of that snowball until it's eventually rolling downhill, and it's a fucking huge boulder. It's a huge snow boulder, whatever. All these analogies can be applied to your life if you just take the time to really let it sink in. Take some time to yourself. Like, guys, it's really simple. It's so simple that I wish I could go back in time and tell my younger version of myself. I would slap my younger version and just tell him to focus, lock in. Because all these distractions that have derailed me or got me off my pivot at one point in my life, needless to say, they were all finite things that didn't last. They were short-term gains, but were major detractors in the long run. So keep that in mind as we go into this weekend, and keep pursuing growth. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.